Hi friends, Matt O'Reilly here, one of the pastors at Hope Hull United Methodist Church, and all of us have experienced a great deal of disruption in the last few days and weeks as our society aims to deal with aggressively slowing the spread of the coronavirus or COVID-19. We are socially distant and somewhat disconnected, but we don't want to be spiritually disconnected. We want to engage one another. And so I thought I'd come to you in the video format and spend some time, just a few minutes, reflecting on how we can be faithful Christian parents in this time of global crisis. Many of us are spending more time with our kids. We've got some time at home in the evenings. Games are canceled. Sporting events are canceled. Activities are canceled. School has been suspended. Church activities have been suspended. And we've got a lot of extra time on our hands that we didn't have just a few weeks ago when our schedules were much more crowded. So here are three things that we can think about, three things we can do that will help us use that extra time more wisely with our kids. Number one, be sure to talk to your kids about what's going on. Age appropriately, of course. But our children have their worlds disrupted also. They're out of school. Their games have been canceled. And it's a great time to talk to your kids about what this crisis means and how we're responding, and how especially we respond as Christians, followers of Jesus, who desire to love God and love our neighbor. And sometimes, in this instance, loving our neighbor means it's being sure that we're distant from them for the sake of their health and the greater health of the whole society in our culture. So talk to your kids about what's going on. Take advantage of the extra time you have to talk to your children about how to handle a crisis well. Number two, model how to handle a crisis well. As we feel anxiety, as we feel disappointment, it's very easy for us to respond in ways that we would not want our kids to emulate or imitate. So we might express anger at something being canceled. We might express frustration at some event that we've been had been looking forward to, not being held any longer, being canceled. Our kids are going to imitate us for better or worse, and every parent knows that. The question is, can we approach this crisis and the anxiety and disappointment and frustration that we all will face, can we approach this crisis and all that it entails in a way that we would want our children to imitate? Right? So perhaps I can respond when I'm frustrated and the tensions are on the rise, and maybe we've got cabin fever because we're not out quite as much. Can we respond in faithful ways that model for our children healthy, mature responses to a crisis? Number three, use the time, the extra time, wisely. We can use all the extra time we've got from canceled events and canceled activities. We can go binge on Netflix, or we could binge on our Bible reading. All those things where we've said, if I had more time to do it, if I had more time in my day, I would do that. I'd love to worship, have family worship, or spend more time praying with my kids, or spend more time reading the Bible with my kids. Those are the kinds of things I would do if I had the time. But we get to the end of the day and we're tired and we're just worn out. Well, if you're like many families now, the evening activities are not quite what they were a few weeks ago. And I wonder if we could really use this time to reorient our families around the worship of Christ and our commitment to the Word of God, and give our kids a chance to really see us respond to a crisis by running and seeking refuge in the Scriptures, in the Word of God, and expressing our trust to God in this time. Those are just a few ideas. I'd love to hear your ideas. What are you doing with the extra time that you have at home with your children? Leave a comment or send us a message, and we'd love to hear how you are responding to this crisis in your home. Thanks for watching.